What does winning a prize and almost getting hit by a car when crossing the road have in common? They both cause you to want to share the experience with others. When you win a prize, you can't help yourself but telling others about it. Same when you have a harrowing experience like almost getting hit by a car when crossing the road. You want to tell your friends, your family, your work colleagues. You want to tell your dog. But why is it when we have a memorable experience, it makes us want to share it with others? The reason is because of emotions. Any experience that makes us feel emotion makes us want to tell others. According to Professor Robert Plutchik, the main emotions people can experience include joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, and anticipation. All other emotions people feel are actually a combination of these. If you mix joy with trust, you'll get love. If you mix joy with anticipation, you'll get optimism. The key to activating motives to share lies in the strength of these emotions. You're more likely to tell others if you almost got knocked off your bicycle than if you just got barked at by a small dog. The emotions caused from the near miss that could have caused you serious injury are much stronger and create significantly more arousal and therefore word of mouth. So how do we measure how strong an emotion is? The strength of an emotion is measured by how much arousal it produces. The stronger the emotion, the more the arousal. The stronger the arousal, the more likely it will activate people's motives to want to share. So what is arousal? Well, arousal is a primitive bodily response that releases pleasurable chemicals in the brain, such as endorphins and dopamine. Interestingly, these are the same chemicals released when taking drugs like heroin, though of course they're released naturally. Kind of like when you get an adrenaline rush from doing something exciting. Mother Nature built arousal into our bodily systems as a survival feature. Let's say you came across a tiger in the wild. Now immediately your body pumps blood to your muscles to get you ready to fight, or more likely run. The chemicals that are released are designed to numb pain in case of injury and increase your alertness. And yes, you'll probably scream. So to summarize, emotions cause arousal, and it's the arousal that causes word of mouth. Have you ever had a moment of panic when you realized your wallet or phone wasn't where it usually is? Perhaps you tapped your back pocket and felt it wasn't there, or checked inside your bag and couldn't find it. Then, with a sigh of relief, you found it and realized it was just in a different place. Recall the feelings you experienced. Chances are you had a physical jolt of panic that felt like your heart skipped a beat, followed by blushing in the face, followed by a euphoric feeling of relief. Then you probably muttered something like, "Thank God," or if you were with someone, perhaps, "What a relief, I thought I'd just lost my wallet." In other words, word of mouth. Well, that's arousal. But how come the effect was so strong? What you experienced was a rapid shift between contrasting emotions. When you realized your phone or wallet was missing, you felt fear. This emotion was quickly replaced by joy, knowing that you were mistaken. Creating super strong emotions in marketing content is not that easy. If you're trying to make something funny, for example, it has to be laugh out loud funny to get shared. But there is a shortcut that you can use to increase the effectiveness of emotions in terms of having a stronger effect on sharing and creating greater arousal. And that's to use multiple emotions of opposite valence. So what's this valence? Well, some emotions are positive, like joy, anticipation, admiration, and optimism, while others are negative, like fear and disgust and sadness. Using emotions of opposite valence involves starting with one emotion and then trying to switch that emotion to the other emotion of opposite valence. Let's say you were sitting at a roulette table and you placed a $20 chip on the red, hoping that the ball would land on the red. If you had plenty of money and that $20 didn't mean that much to you, then winning would send you from an emotional state of indifference to a state of joy from winning. But that wouldn't really create strong physical response. It wouldn't create strong enough arousal, since you went from indifference, perhaps a little bit hopeful but not really caring, to joy that you just won. Nothing really to tell your mum about. But imagine if that $20 chip was your last $20 in the world, and losing that would mean you'd have no money for food and likely you'd be sleeping on the street. Then, if it turns out you won, the physical feeling you would experience would be far stronger, since your emotions would change rapidly from a feeling of fear of losing to joy of winning. On the emotional continuum, the distance between fear and joy would be far, and it would cross that line of indifference from negative to positive. And as a result, you'd likely experience a stronger physical reaction to winning, including elation and euphoria. Much stronger arousal. And you would have likely told more people about your win. There are many examples of successful marketing content that has used mixed emotions to create strong arousal. One example is the most shocking Second a Day super viral produced by Save the Children. It has more than 1 million shares. The video is about 1.5 minutes long and features a series of 1-second scenes of memorable moments in a young girl's life. Like Instagram stories, each life moment replicates common memories of childhood that anyone would expect to have, such as birthday moments, time spent with family, pets, and playing with friends. The girl's life is one that people are used to living in the Western world, with flat-screen TVs, music lessons, and an abundance of food choices. The emotions are playful, happy, and joyful. About 20 seconds into the advertisement, the 1-second scenes begin to change in mood as it becomes clear the country the girl lives in is on the verge of war. The scenes switch from times of happiness to times of terror and sadness as the conflict reaches the girl's neighborhood. The fighting forces her and her family to flee, and after time spent on the run struggling to find food and escape the chaos, she eventually winds up in a makeshift hospital. The scenes are heart-wrenching and full of sadness. The results are extremely effective. It has 60 million views on YouTube. The most powerful thing you can do in a video ad is to affect people on an emotional level that's unforgettable for them.